So, hello, good evening, everyone. The time is now West African time, 6:30. Our scheduled time is up. You are all most welcome to joining us this evening. Give me a reaction in the using your emoji. Thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you so much, Mr. Charles, President Okeibuna. Ahoy, these are the people who are going to have their cameras on in a minute. Tosin, you are most welcome. And I'm going to kindly assist my able-bodied assistant, Ayomide, to keep an eye on the waiting room, please, so that we can get going with our business for the day. Thank you so much, everyone. Once again, I'll say good evening to you. And then it depends on where you are on the face of the earth. It may not be good morning. It may be a different time zone. All the same, welcome everyone. So, just a few housekeeping notes before we begin. May I kindly ask to keep your microphone muted to minimize background noise. Please note that this session is being recorded and we are live streaming on YouTube. So everyone on YouTube, we say hello to you. We'll have a dedicated question and answer segment at the end of the session. If you have any questions for the time when the presentation is going on, you have two options. Your first option, you can put them in the chat box and we'll keep an eye on them for you. The second option, you can wait until the dedicated Q&A time, and we're going to try as much as possible to answer all your questions. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will have so many questions. In the event that we do not get to answer your question specifically, we're going to download the chat and we're going to follow up later on and you will get answers to all your questions. So once again, I'm delighted to be moderating this session today. In case, just by any chance, people do not know who I am or cannot recall my picture, my name is Femi Odelusi, and yours truly, I will be moderating the session for you today. Today's session is about the evolution of the ICF core competencies. And we're joined by Titilayo Akisoya, an executive and leadership coach, an NLP practitioner, and FCIPM. Now, in case you didn't hear me properly, we are joined by Titilayo Akisoya. I know you may not be able to speak, but this is the point that I want to see reactions, emojis flying all over my screen, welcoming our guest, our speaker tonight. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we have guests from all over the world today. Now, I'm not going to mention names specifically, but we have a whole hour and a half together. And in that 1.5 hours, we got so many things packed to share with you. Now, I have the easy job this evening, and you have an easier job this evening because all you need to do is be present. Let's get connected. I've got just two things to connect you with. In the chat, please kindly indicate where are you joining from? Just one word check-in, please. Where are you joining from? Answers in the chat. Thank you. Oh, I can see locations coming in: London, New York, Ukraine. You are welcome. USA in the house. Wow. Lagos, Manchester, Abuja, and Curious. Wow. Lagos, Kenya. Oh, you are all most welcome. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. I can see Geneva in the house. Houston, Ghana. Barcelona in the house. Oh, we got USA. I can see so many favorite names and lots of different locations. Oh, I just saw Surulere, Lagos. For those who do not know what Surulere means, we're going to park that for now and we're going to share the meaning for you later. Thank you. Thank you. Now, let's build on that. Let's build on that. Second, answers in the chat, please. What's one capability great coaches consistently demonstrate? Consistently demonstrate. Answers in the chat. Wow, curiosity. I'm curious about that. Listening. Curiosity again. Active listening. I'm seeing a lot of responses, powerful questions. Active listening, compassionate curiosity. That's different. Oh, check this out. Not knowing. Coaches come from a place of not knowing. That's great. Holding the space. Mm, Keep it coming, please. Evoke awareness. Mm, Curiosity again. Well, we're going to download the chat and make sure we use some AI to create some insights about all your responses. Thank you so much. Now, that's exactly what today's conversation is about. Hold your curiosities, hold your thoughts, and let me just introduce our speaker to you. Ladies and gentlemen, or as they say, people, let me share a little bit about our speaker this evening. Oh, we got Adebisi in the room. Um, Coach TA, as he's often called, Coach TA, Titilayo Akisaya. Titilayo brings over 4 decades of leadership and HR consultancy experience across global organizations, including Coca-Cola. She's a former HR director for Coca-Cola CPS Africa. And now she's founder and CEO of Theta Alpha Consult. As I go through this profile, please keep those reactions coming. I want to see them flying across the screen. She is a former director. Oh, I've mentioned that already. Coach Titilayo is a certified executive coach. She's an NLP practitioner, and she's a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. She's a past president of the ICF Nigeria Charter Chapter. Please, I want to see those emojis flying. She's widely recognized for developing leaders and driving transformational impact across sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the honor and the privilege as I transfer the presentation over to Titilayo. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, Titilayo. Over to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Femi. And thank you everyone for joining. It is a pleasure. I see quite a number of familiar names. And thank you all for making time out to be here. Whilst people are still joining, and also to evoke my curiosity, I have 2 polls that I'd like us to participate in. So will the first poll come on, please?
Okay, can I ask Ayomide, are you there ready with the poll? Oh, great, yes.
All right. So the first poll is on the screen. And it simply says the ICF core competencies evolved from. So pick any of these dates. Let's see how good you are with the historical evidence. Yeah, keep it coming. Yes, we need more answers. Thank you. So the question is, the ICF core competencies evolved from when to when? Click any of those responses that you see on the screen. Keep it coming. Don't think too much. You either know it or you don't know it. So we need more responses. There are over 50 of us, but only 27 have responded. Keep it coming. Okay, I think we have a good representation now. So can we see? So looking at, oh, some people are still feeling, all right. I'd like to end the poll. Is that okay, Femi?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me end the poll. And so, well, the answer really is 1998 to 2019 to 2025. So the second response is the correct answer. Okay, I have yet another poll. Ayomide, can you put on the second poll, please? No, second one. The second one, Ayomide, this is still the first one. The second question, please.
Actually,
No,
the
Ayomide.
second question appears to be on the same page. All they need to do is scroll down and they will see question
Oh,
number
okay.
2. Yes.
Please scroll down. Scroll down. So, yes. All right. So, poll number 2, it says, how often do you read through the ICF competences? Thanks for being honest. All those that say rarely. Whoa, before every coaching session. Oh, my word. All right. Keep it coming. How often do you read through the ICF competencies? Every week? Only for credentialing exams? Yeah, thanks for being honest. I love those that are so honest. Rarely. All right. Okay. Well, there's no correct answer here. All I just wanted to know is get a bit of a feel for how much you keep the competencies in your forefront as you prepare either for your coaching sessions or group coaching sessions, and not necessarily for when you have your credentialing exams. I think it's just one person that said before every coaching session. Wow, that's a tough one. When I grow up, I want to be like you. So I'm going to end the poll and then start sharing my own screen. But once again, for those that are here, I just want to say it is a pleasure to be here with you. And I look forward to our time together and hoping that our time together this evening would be well worth your time. So one of the things I say about whenever I'm sharing, my English teacher, when I was growing up, would often say repetition for emphasis. repetition for emphasis. So if I look through the objectives of what I'd like to share with you this evening, number one, I'm hoping we'll all have a clearer through line across the competency versions. Now, let me say that I am aware that amongst all of us here, not all of us are coaches. Some of us are here just out of curiosity. Some of us are about to start our coaching journey. Some of us started and stopped, right, for whatever reason, and hope this would give them a spark. So we fall into different categories, but regardless of your category, I want to assure you that you will learn, you will unlearn, and you will relearn. So it's about having a through line across the competency versions. So talking about the historical part of it. And then secondly, I'm hoping that we'll all understand how the 2025 updates signal the direction of the coaching profession. So this is one update that really gives us a better clarity and insight into this esteemed yet emerging profession. And then thirdly, I'm hoping we'll all understand the practical implications that you can apply to all your coaching conversations, to your mentoring and coaching supervision, or even your training sessions, as well as get you ready for your assessments. So what will I cover? Mainly in 5 broad areas. So I'll start from the very beginning. And that beginning is aligning us and letting us understand the coaching definition. So keeping us in perspective with regards to the coaching definition. And then I'll talk about the evolution. So from the pole, yes, we started this journey in 1998. That was when the core competencies were established. And then it was reviewed in 2019. And I have the privilege of informing all of you that I worked with one of the work stream committees in EMEA in getting us ready for that 2019 update. And then we'll now zero in and look at the 2025 updates and implications, as well as the 2025 competencies in practice, going through highlights of what I mean in practice for the 2025 competencies. And then we'll round up with me giving you a bit of a challenge in terms of what it means going forward to sharpen your soul. So, like that song says in The Sound of Music, let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. So the ICF coaching definition, and as I read this definition, please be mindful of those words I have underlined. So ICF defines coaching as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to examine their personal and professional potential. I'll just leave you a few seconds to let this definition soak in. So it's really about the fact that we're partnering. And whatever we do in doing that or conversations, it has to be thought-provoking. And it has to evolve into a creative process. And we must inspire our clients so they can maximize the personal and professional potential. So the key elements in that definition with the words I have underlined are the partnership aspect, where you're supporting the client rather than directing them. The second one is the thought provoking, and creative aspect. And how do we do this? Through the various questioning techniques and dialogues, and even using metaphors or visualizations that we bring into the conversation. And then we're meant to maximize our client's potential. So it's about unlocking whatever is latent, and letting them tap into their inner recesses so they'll be the better part of themselves. And of course, understanding that this is a client-driven agenda. So it's always about the client. And so it has to close out with the action orientation, the commitment from the client. So what are the implications by looking at this definition? First is to let us understand that it is indeed client-driven and it is a partnership. And because it's client-driven, because it's a partnership, all we want to do is make sure the client is brought into series of levels of awareness so that as we enable them, we can enable them to explore further and come up with actions for their growth. Another implication is the fact that this definition emphasizes that coaching is future focused. It's always about moving the client forward. So let's start with the historical aspect of that. So the evolution actually started. The competencies actually were introduced in 1998. And it was developed by 8 coaching pioneers. And the original competencies we had, the original core competencies were 11. And what was the purpose? Why did ICF come up with this? It's really to bring clarity and definition to the knowledge, the skills, and ethical expectations of professional coaches all over the world, so that the right impact is created in bringing to bear when we look at the backbone of these competencies and how it aligns readily with our training standards, our coaching practices, as well as credentialing. So why does 1998 matter today? 1998 matters because anytime ICF tries to develop, they don't just start from scratch. It's always going back to the laid down foundation. So 1998 competencies provide the grounding, the structure, and every other work that's done is a refinement of what was done in 1998. And that's why we talk about the evolution of the competences. And the model is really always, what ICF tries to do is every 5 to 7 years, they try to update those competencies and improve on them. And you'll see how that evolution has come through. So from 1998, we then came up to 2019. Now, 2019 was mega in the sense that it was a major overhaul where ICF shifted from 11 competencies to 8 competencies. And like I mentioned earlier, I have the privilege of working in one of those subcommittees within EMEA. Trust me, this was work, serious work. So we reduced from 11 competencies to 8 competencies. And then the competencies were organized in 4 categories. Some people call it 4 pillars. Some call it 4 domains. But really what we were trying to do in doing this work was to make sure the behavioral indicators were more succinct. And obviously, we needed to reflect on modern coaching practices. So 2019 model became the basis for ICF credentialing exams. And so pre-2019, that is from 1998, 11 competences. 2019, 8 competences, 8 core competences. The 4 pillars, like some of you know, are the foundation pillar, the co-creating the relationship pillar, the communicating effectively pillar, and cultivating learning and growth. Now, this 2019, part of why it was mega also was because it introduced the coaching mindset and emphasized the partnership between the coach and the client. So 2025 then was really about refining 2019 competencies and modernizing them. So the 8 competencies stayed the same, and they're still the same, but there were additions of 5 new sub-competencies and 11 others were revised. Unfortunately, I did not take part in this work this time around. Now, I remember this infographic from what the work we did in 2019. Now, it may look simple, but trust me, in those days we were drawing those arrows, it was going this way, that way, and this always stays in my fore when I think of the dynamics of the evolution. Now, side by side, so you can see the 11 core competencies on the left side of the screen, and now the 8 core competencies that evolved from 2019 and up to 2025. So, unmute. So you may want to ask, why did ICF update the competencies? First of all, if I put on my HR cap, part of the work that goes into this, it's not just we feel like doing this, but a lot of rigor goes into it in the sense that there's a lot of global research going on, a lot of surveys sent to coaches. By the way, next time you receive those surveys from ICF, please don't just ignore them. Please feel them, because we use them for times like this. And then the job analysis part was rigorous, looking at the job description and the roles and responsibilities of coaches all over the world. And then the feedback from coaches all over the world from the survey that was done. So what this then did was to make us more relevant. All of us, especially because I see people from Houston, Geneva, even from Ukraine. Oh my word, that person needs to get an award, right? So we realize that we're in a rapidly changing world. And so these competencies, as they stay now, keeps us mindful of that. And of course, the ethical standards that we have to observe. And then most importantly, the need to support our coaching practices and move us onto levels of maturity and professionalization as coaches. Now, talking of the rigor that went behind the scenes, this took 14 months. The 2019 revision took 18 months. But this one in 2025 took 14 months, involving over 3,000 coaches worldwide and doing the job analysis. So let's look at the milestones for 2025. The first thing I'd like to say, pointing out the milestones, is please, 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 it is an evolution, not a revolution. So Two different words meaning different things. All right. So 2025 competencies is an evolution in the sense that no new competencies were added to the established 8 in 2019. But let me point out the fact that in 2025, one competency in particular went through a restructuring. Most of the definitions from 2019 were preserved, but competency number 2 went through a restructuring. And I'll talk about that later when I'm looking at the 8 competencies one by one. It's significant to note that in 2025 as well, we had something new that was introduced. That's the glossary of terms. This was a big one. Why was it big? Because the definitions, the interpretations would bring to some words varied from culture to culture, from country to country, and even varied in terms of the gender. Who is it that's giving definition? So the glossary of terms is what was brought into 2025. And please, as good coaches, what you must do is print those glossaries. I believe they're 3 pages, and always keep them in your journal or where on your table, wherever you're coaching. Make sure those glossary of terms are a go-to for you and readily available. Now, what 2025 also did was to make that area about ethics more explicit, especially because ICF had gone into an updated policy in that regard, in any case. Then it brought in the DEI, so diversity, equity, inclusion, and I dare say belonging. It brought in the technology part of it, so AI, right, in coaching and all that. It also brought in the well-being, our well-being as coaches. And of course, it looked at the global shifts and the professional maturity. So this latest evolution refines language, it clarifies expectations, and it also strengthens the framework without adding new competencies. For those of us who prefer graphs, I won't go through this. This is just at a glance to let you know we've done a shift from pre-2019, 1998 in particular, to 2019, and now we're in 2025. So let's dig deeper. What's new in the 2025 version? Remember, the 8 competencies are the same. But what's new is the fact that the wordings in particular have been refined. The wordings have been refined for clarity and inclusivity. And there's greater emphasis on the self-awareness of the coach, especially when it comes to bias. As you grow in your coaching practice, as you're coaching different people all over the world, this is very important. There's also more emphasis on your ongoing development and your supervision. So now you hear qualifications around mentor supervision and coaching supervision and all that. I'll talk a bit about that at the end. Again, I had mentioned the new glossary of terms. So it's about consistency. So we cannot say in my culture, in your culture. So this keeps us all as one all over the world. Now, again, you may want to say, if you look at the big picture, therefore, what are the implications of this change for us? Well, again, here's me putting on my HR cap and talking about the change management or the transformation process of these competencies for each and every one of us. Number one, it's to make our coaching more dynamic. in terms of how we start structuring our agreements, the fluidity of our sessions. And number two, it's about having a stronger focus on ourselves as coaches and not just the client, being able to self-regulate. Again, I mentioned the bias and the impact we have on our clients. Let's be mindful of that. The third implication of these changes is about the subtle but powerful language shifts. Notice I say the subtle but powerful language shifts. So this new competences, in terms of the wording, it's less directive, but more participatory. And then the fourth area is growing beyond the session, with emphasis on what you sustain or reviewing the insights from the client at the end of the session. So I won't go through all of this. So the major themes is about our self-care and well-being as coaches, the fact that AI has come into our space, whether you like it or not, right? And bringing us more in the contemporary, the digital world, the DG space, like they say. Now it's about us as coaches having a deepened mindset. So competency number 2 again encapsulates that. And then of course the dynamic agreements. Now with the refined language, again I repeat, the glossary of terms keeps us all together. Why does this evolution matter? It matters because the coaching profession is growing. Yay, I love that. From when we started ICF in Nigeria, where just 4 of us started ICF Nigeria, and it was like, who must join? Who needs to be a member? Why must they join? You know, and all of that. I guess keeping this at the back of our minds was very useful. It's about supporting the professionalization of coaching worldwide. Very important in this part of our world, because everybody says, I'm a coach. Really? The masters of ceremony in weddings, in events, everyone is a coach, right? Really? Everyone needs a coach, but not everyone is a coach. And so this is part of why I love the evolution, because it also improves our assessment consistency when it comes to the credentialing. It enables us align coaching with modern leadership realities and psychology practices, and it deepens the client transformation. So these are areas of interest for all of us. So in terms of the competences, 4 pillars, 4 domains, 4 groups, right? The foundation, the co-creating the relationship, communicating effectively, cultivating learning and growth. Let me point out at this time that if we break the 8 competencies down further, in managing our state as coaches, competences 1 and 2 is about our state of being as a coach. Being coaches. And then competences 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8 is about the doing of the coaching. Now, you oftentimes may be fluctuating between competencies 3 to 8 and find that you're coming back to competency 1 in terms of recontracting. So there's a measure of fluidity, but we must understand the being of the coach and the doing of the coaching. So as I get ready to close, my next slides is just to break down the 8 competencies for us. I will not necessarily read the definition. but I will bring out highlights of what it means for us when we practice coaching, when we're having those coaching conversations. By the way, the slides will be shared and given to all. And Femi, am I correct? We're streaming this, aren't we?
Absolutely. We're streaming on YouTube right now. The recording will be
Fant-
available for people to view later.
Fantastic. That's the technology part of how we have evolved. All right. So, competency number 1, and it states demonstrates ethical practice. This is about us as coaches understanding and consistently, the key word is consistently, applying coaching ethics and standards in all our coaching interactions. It's not just when we're having the intake session or at the beginning when we want our clients to sign up. It's all throughout the coaching journey. So in practice, it's about demonstrating personal integrity and confidentiality, honesty, transparency, whilst we respect boundaries, right? We establish and we respect boundaries before we start the coaching sessions. And then the latest ICF Code of Ethics is another thing you must print and have on your table. And so it's important for us as coaches to uphold the ICF core values at all times. So competency number 2, this had a major shift, a major reshuffling. It embodies a coaching mindset. The definition changed altogether. And if you look closely as why this is one of the longest definitions amongst the competencies, it enables you to understand why we want you to embody a coaching mindset. It states, engages in ongoing personal and professional learning and development as a coach, works with coaching supervisors or mentor coaches as needed, develops and maintains a mindset that is open, curious, flexible, and client-centered. So this competency is very, very important for us. So in practice, it's about self-regulating, our self-awareness, our emotional state, our mental state, being present, right? And obviously staying curious and not judgmental, and our ongoing learning as coaches. Competency number 3. So as we shift from 1 and 2, from the being, now we're going into the doing of the coaching practice itself. So competency number 3, establishing and maintaining agreements. Here it's about describing what your coaching philosophy is like at that onset of that intake session with your client, and being able to let them understand what coaching is and what it is not. This is very important because many times our clients look to you. It's almost like, help me, help me, help me, please, right? So they want you to tell them what to do, advise them, da, 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 da. But please let them know what coaching is and what it's not. And it's also about having those goals established from the very beginning. What would you like us to accomplish in this session today? Is one of the famous questions we always ask. And so we keep the client session focused all throughout. Competency number 4 is cultivating trust and safety. Notice that word, cultivates. Cultivates trust and safety. And in practice, it's making sure we provide a safe place for our clients all the time. We're showing empathy and respect, and we respect their unique talents and their identity, their experiences and feelings, knowing very well that We've gone global now, so cultures may vary, but we do respect, and we want our clients to feel safe with us. So we encourage open expressions. Competency number 5, maintains presence. Now, this is where in those days, a lot of younger coaches will ask me, TA, what does that mean? I always say it means, first of all, when you're coaching, you sit upright, you are alert, you are attentive, you are in the moment. You stay attentive so that you can soak in everything that the client is saying or not saying. And so you can also demonstrate curiosity. And it's about following the client's lead and being able to create and allow space for silence. So silence in coaching is golden. There's more to silence. And I think the more I have learned in my years as a coach is the fact that reflection, bringing in moments of reflection, is always very helpful to the client. Competency number 6, listens actively. This is where I like to say, as coaches, we're listening actively, not just listening, we're listening actively. This definition is also important, so permit me to read it out. It says focuses on what the client is and is not saying to fully understand what is being communicated in the context of the client's systems so you can support the client's self-expression. So this is where I say listen to the words behind the words. I'll say that again. Listen to the words behind the words. So it's really about watching the space, the facial expressions, the body language, the tonality, and the shifts in emotions and energy. Competency number 7, evokes awareness. Powerful. Yeah, in the sense that you are evoking, and this is where your curiosity comes in. When the client says, oh, I'm between the devil and the deep blue sea. Whew. And I say, tell me about the deep blue sea. And the client says, oh, it's deep, tell me more. And then after they've gone on, just almost as if they've forgotten, they said the devil and the deep blue sea. I ask, by the way, how about the devil? And knowing or seeing the shift, because the client has spent so much time talking about the deep blue sea, they then power down the influence of the devil, right? Evoking awareness. So please don't let us assume. And so we must challenge assumptions and help look at the patterns in what the client is saying so that we can evoke and encourage new insights. Competency number 8 is about facilitating client growth. Very powerful. I wonder why I'm using the words powerful a lot today. I think I'm picking up from one of my clients from yesterday. So look at that definition. It says partners with the client to transform learning and insight into action. This is where we bring the client to commit to act. What will you do? What are you committing to doing on a scale of 1 to 10? So we're promoting client autonomy in the coaching process. So in practice, what does this competency mean? It means we're co-creating, helping the client create the action steps. And we hold them accountable. By when? By when? Those are some of the common words we ask when we want to hold them accountable. So We also partner with the clients to integrate learning and acknowledge their progress. Now, I love this bit in this because it says acknowledging clients' progress and successes. In the 2019 bit, it said celebrate. And when the revision was going on, it was how do you celebrate? Well, I mean, how you celebrate varies from culture to culture. So instead of saying, well done, oh, congratulations. I mean, some people might like it, some people may not. So I like the word acknowledge instead of celebrating that they brought into this competency 8 in terms of the practice. Acknowledge the client's progress. So you say something like, oh, I see now that you've accomplished a lot of your goals you set out at the beginning. What does it mean for you going forward? Or what else needs to shift for you now that you've accomplished all your goals? Or now that you've accomplished all your goals that you set out at the beginning, how will you transfer this? How will this make you a better leader? And so you're encouraging ongoing growth beyond the session, not just for the coachee, but for you as the coach. So again, for those who prefer charts, so this is a chart that just puts everything together in terms of behavioral indicators. So we're looking at your mindset, how the agreements you embark on. So it's not just at the beginning or the onset. You constantly have to go back and look at those agreements in case there shifts within the coaching journey. Your presence as a coach, and then your listening actively, your awareness, and of course, your growth. And before I had said, our role is to move people forward. So even for us, it's about sustaining our transformation in terms of upskilling and upscaling. So a simple way to remember all the 8 competences, again, depending on how you learn, is just to look at the 4 pillars. And under foundation is competencies 1 and 2, the ethics and the mindset of the coach, embodying a coach mindset. So this might be useful for some of us. Again, when you get the slides, you may want to print this. If you don't want the full one that narrates everything, print this and keep it beside you. So here are my final thoughts. My final thoughts are more or less a summary of what I have said so far. So 2019 competencies, they change how we understand coaching. And so the competencies, the 2025 competencies change how rigorous we must bring all these things into our coaching practice. The 2025 competency updates didn't reinvent coaching, rather, it deepened it. So it pushes us as coaches to move to understand the doing the competencies correctly and then being the kind of person who naturally embodies them, as well as to understand that mastery is no longer about doing coaching well. It is about creating the conditions where transformation becomes inevitable. I'll say that again, like my English teacher would say, repetition for emphasis. Mastery as coaches, whether you're ACC credentialed, PCC, MCC, it is no longer about doing coaching well. It is about creating the conditions where transformation becomes inevitable. And so going forward, part of my summary is to say to all of you, why does all what I've said this evening, why does it matter? It matters because it's about making you stronger in your professional identity as coaches. Especially because now there's room for global alignment. It's to enable you have greater demand for your services whilst upholding higher evaluation standards. So as I close, and I believe this is my last slide, Femi, right? So, well, like I said, it's not just about asking questions. It's about closing with reflection. So going forward, knowing what you now know, or all you've now heard, what must you now refine in your coaching practice? Remember, it's about deepening your mastery. It's about ensuring your presence defines your excellence. It's about you remembering that 2019 changed how we understand coaching, but 2025 core competencies changed how rigorously we must practice coaching. So 2025 update is evolutionary. It's not disruptive. And so please don't ever say 2025 is a new model. Don't ever say 2025 is a replacement of competences. No, 2025 is about upscaling. So who would like to answer this question? I believe, do we have room for one or two people, Femi?
Absolutely. You've
Okay.
got 4 minutes, so utilize the time.
All right. So good. Oh, so I kept my timing well. Fantastic.
Thank you. You
Well,
did well.
well, I guess I didn't tell too many stories or give too many examples. So who would like to answer this? This is a moment of reflection. And the question is, going forward, what must you now refine in your coaching practice? Knowing what you now know, going forward, what must you now refine in your coaching practice? Should we call names?
We're not going to call names. What we're going to do, remind people that they're going to have to take their ICF credential exam again, or
Mm-hmm.
if they're not yet credentialed, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
prepare for it and take the exam tomorrow. So here's your
Aha.
practice.
Good. I love that. Who's going? Who's going? Yes, I have a hand. And Oji Nwosu, yes, your hand is raised. Please unmute.
Let me try and see to enable them unmute themselves. Go for it now, please, Nwosu. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Thank you
Great.
very much. Good evening, everybody.
Good
Thank
evening.
you, the master coach. Personally, what I think that strikes me most is taking advantage of the evolutionary trends that the 2025 upskilling has brought, particularly the coaching presence,
Mm-hmm.
then the partnering aspect of it, which blends with the client for a more productive and reflective coaching practice.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you very much, Nwosu. I love that contribution. Great. Anyone else? And please feel free to type your responses in the chat. So going forward, knowing what you now know from this session, what must you now refine in your coaching practice? What new awareness has come up for you today? Anyone else? Anyone else? I can see those hands. Is
Okay,
it
so
me?
we have got in the chat box, we have got
Mhm.
a couple of insights being shared. First of all, we've got deepen the partnering mindset. That's
Mhm.
quite powerful. We've got
Great.
print out and refer to the competencies. Wow. Someone was
Mhm.
actually listening to you, Coach TA. Then we've got
Good.
deeper curiosity.
Mhm.
And we also have someone who said truly insightful. And guess what they did? They said, thank you so much, TA.
Oh,
And that is
thank you
someone who's
too.
really taken something away.
Oh, thank you too.
Let's have a few more in
Great.
the chat box, please. Challenge assumptions more. Let me say that again.
Mhm.
Challenge assumptions more. Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
More. And the
Let that
key
sink
word
in.
is more. I love that.
Hmm.
So not just to challenge assumptions, but challenge assumptions more for that
Hmm.
person. Very good. I love
Absolutely.
that.
And we still have a few more coming up, if I may. I need,
Please go
someone
on.
said, I need to be more intentional about the core competencies. And now, I don't know, well, I don't want to speak on behalf of that person, but I can only interpret their words. They said, I need to be, guess what? More intentional. So one of the things that I'm assuming is that the insights that you've generated in the person has been
Mhm.
such that they've now made up their mind about their intentionality and not
Very
just
good.
about coaching, but they said
Mhm.
about the core competencies. Now, as we
Mhm.
know, competencies are just one part of the total resource kit that coaches use. We've got the
Mhm.
core competencies. We got for
Mhm.
those who are credentialed, they've got the ACC bars and the MCC bars. They've got the PCC markers. You've got the
Mhm.
mentor coaching competencies. You've got the
Yeah.
supervision competencies. You've got the team coaching competencies. But
Yeah.
guess what? Your emphasis tonight, Coach TA, on the core
Mhm.
competencies. The key word there is core. What do you want to
Mhm.
say to that?
Well, thank you very much, Femi. So, like you rightly said, the key word is core. And my challenge to everyone, and the reason why we have put this session together, is to let you know that they are indeed core. And so you remember the poll at the beginning, how when I asked the question, the second poll, how often do you refer to the core competencies? And somebody said, quite a number of people said, rarely. And if I was seeing you face to face, I would say, rarely. Right? So, what this has done is to open up a new measure of awareness
Mm,
to let all of us, especially those of us that are practicing coaches, know that these competencies are core competencies. And by the way, if you go through them as often as possible, you'll find that you can bring them into any conversation whatsoever, even when you are not coaching. I use it a lot when I'm doing my consulting work with other leaders all over the world. And so the fact that they're core also means, like Femi, like you said, all these other certification programs, MCQ, QMC, that's the qualified mentor coach, and many more are being refined, by the way, So again, let me take the opportunity to repeat and say, when ICF sends you an email and says we want volunteers, please respond. Yes, I know it's a lot of hard work, but my being rooted in these competences has stemmed from my participation when we were doing the update in 2019. A lot of work, but I mean, it's good work. Now, the core competencies are foundations. So whether it's team coaching, group coaching, mentor coaching qualification, supervision, all those other competencies for those other domains, or should I say branches, will still dovetail or stem up from these core competencies. So very important for us.
Wow.
And please, may I add, don't forget the glossary of terms. Please print them out and have them in front of you. If there's one thing you must read as you prepare for a coaching session, please go through those glossary of terms, especially for those of us that coach across borders all over the world.
Yeah, thank you so much. Across borders, across cultures. And one of the things that hasn't been mentioned in core competencies relates to, actually, I tell a lie, it is, demonstrates ethical practice. Ethics. And we know in ethics, there's a whole heap of standards about diversity, inclusiveness, equity, the core values. All of them have been encapsulated in the ethical standards. I want to come back to the chat if you don't mind, because the list is growing longer and longer, but we will not have time to respond to a lot of them. Um, After I read the last one, I have here, listen to the words behind the words, if that makes sense. The words behind the words. And I also have additional comments such as, I will refine all the 8 competencies and sub-competencies through reflective session. More deliberate to learn, unlearn, and relearn with deeper mindset shift. Wow, that's quite powerful. Focus on transformation as the ultimate goal. Listen more to what's not said than what's been said. I don't see responses. Come on. I don't see your emojis. You want to appreciate the insights that Coach TA has generated. Wow, thank you. Keep them coming. It becomes who we be, not just what we do. There's something here. This is quite long. Congratulations on a truly insightful session. God bless you. Thanks to ICF Nigeria for this session. I second that. Please volunteer. We need your voice. Now, that comes from Akina, and I believe Akina was speaking to when you emphasize that when ICF call out for volunteers. I mean, I can see quite a number of volunteers here. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. Very well done for ICFM putting this together. Thank you. Thank you, Coach TA. Brilliant, authentic engagement. Print the glossary. Now, we could go on for the next couple of hours. Wow. Thank you so much, Coach TA. Do we have one question that we want to take in our Q&A? I don't see any in the chat box, but I just want to make sure that if anyone's got a burning question, we got time for one question. And I'm going to be silent while you think about your question. Going? Did I mention there was going to be an exam tonight and that everyone was going to revise for the exam?
I love that.
No? Okay.
But
Right. So I was going to say ladies and gentlemen, but I have to correct myself not to say that because of the various diversity aspects. So I'm going to say everyone, and I can see someone from DIB. Is he MRG? Akina. Round of applause for Akina, please. So I want to appreciate everyone for the time that how you've spent listening to Coach TA. That was part 1. Now we're going to move to part 2. And I want everyone, as we move to part 2, to please give a massive round of applause for the president of ICF Nigeria Charter Chapter. I'm going to say that again. The president of ICF Nigeria Charter Chapter, Mr. Charles Okebuno, PCC. Over to you, Charles.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Great to know that our audience is from all over the world today. So, my cheat code for it is to just say greetings, greetings, greetings. But you know, the reason I'm smiling, someone wrote me, sent me a message on WhatsApp and said, President, you're not smiling. You're too serious. Smile, smile. You know, I thought I was always wearing a smiley face. So it's so easy to notice when I'm not. Thank you so much, TA. And that's where I'm going to start from. You have done what Napoleon could not do. This has been an interesting session. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and every coach across the world, especially the coaches from Africa and the Nigerian Charter Chapter, ICW 2026. And there you can see it on your screen. The unveiling from authority to influence, coaching as a new leadership currency. That is our conversation on the 12th. And our keynote speaker for that day is Dr. Oke Enelema, confirmed to be with us on that day. Is the chairman of African Per Capita Alliance and former minister for productivity in Nigeria. So we're going to have an incredibly important and influential conversation. His authority to influence is going to be a significantly influential conversation. What is to come? This will hold at the Civic Center, and we are looking for 500 potential clients. 500 potential clients. So we are set up to invite people to this conference who are not coaches. All right. So the coaching community is hosting every professional. You are the host for every professional from all walks of life. 500 potential clients, 500 potential coaches as well. We are setting up a conference where at the end of that day, we would have two groups of people who will say, now, where have I been this whole time? I need to get a coach. And people who will say, I think this feels like me. I need to be a coach. Where do I start from? All right. So one of the things we're going to be doing is eliciting the support of every single coach in the room. All those people who hitherto would, when you talk to them, because of over familiarity, they probably will say, oh, well, what is it that you're saying that is new? This time, just tell them, come to the conference. Just come to the conference. Okay, tell them that I'm giving you a ticket to come to the conference because the taste of pudding is in the eating. Let them not hear it from you. Let them hear it from others. So it's going to be the keynote. We're going to have for the first time a CEO roundtable. And these are chief executives, C-suites who have experienced coaching and don't have to be coaches. Impact stories from them. And then we're going to have 5 master classes, unique master classes. What is more, everyone, we have designed this as a capability engagement. So everyone will receive a certificate. So this is not just another conference. This is a transformational engagement. In line with what Coach TA told us today, coaching is not about doing the coaching well. It's creating the environment that makes transformation inevitable. We are creating environment at Civic Center for 500 professionals to make their transformation inevitable. And so, where do you come in? It is your responsibility, dear coaches and members of the International Coaching Federation, to make this an outstanding success. That's your responsibility. And we want you to do 3 things for us. Only 3 things. Number 1, Who are the people that want to see the work that we're doing and leverage on our excellence? These are the people that will benefit from this conference. Who are those that want to leverage on excellence? Those in your network who are happy to say, we want to partner with the International Coaching Federation Nigeria. And so we have several tiers. And what is important is, for the first time, the sponsors are not just giving us money. Will the conference be streamed, Finch? Yes, it will be streamed like it was last year. Oh, yes, the standard is increasing and it's not staying the same. It will be streamed live. So, what is beautiful is that our platinum sponsors, two new things have come up. The platinums, all levels of sponsorship, is going to leverage on a collaborative relationship post sponsorship. So, when an organization sponsors us, we are offering to do for them, depending on their level of sponsorship, offer them executive coaching, offer them a master class, and offer them a training on coaching post the conference for their teams post the conference. So we're not looking for a one-off relationship. We want to be planted and rooted in the consciousness of Nigeria's corporate world. The second thing is, when they sponsor, they get to send up to 20. If you're a platinum sponsor, you get to send up to 30 of your senior leaders. If you're a diamond sponsor, you get to send up to 20 of your senior leaders, and so on and so forth. So our sponsorship is collaborative. It is tiered in such a way that we don't just want the money, we want the people who will be improved, and we want to be part and parcel of that organization's success. So thank you very much. Any questions, contributions, observations?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Is there any more you want to add? I know a token gift is apt when people join us in person or virtually. Do you want to speak to that about, what's in it for them? What could they possibly be given as a token from our chapter?
And
Yes, so
perhaps, Mr. President, some would like to know how they can join our chapter or how they can join ICF.
absolutely. So I have here with me my membership director, and it's so easy to tell you that joining ICF Nigeria or becoming a coach, while not being a walk in the park, is worth your while. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to be part of ICF Nigeria, all you need to do is start your coach training. So we've got 4 tiers of people to join us in ICF Nigeria. The first tier are persons who would love to be part and parcel of the Nigerian chapter. They are coaches, but not ICF coaches. But they commit to between 12 and 24 months to begin the journey. We accept you into the chapter as an affiliate coach. The second category are persons who are already ICF certified coaches, but they belong to other chapters, but they want to be part of what is happening in Nigerian charter chapter. You are welcome. And then there's a third category of coaches who are certified ICF coaches and are also global members. And they want to join Nigerian charter chapter because it is the closest to them. You are also welcome. If you go to our website, everything I've said now is there. We have a brand new, refreshed, active, and interactive website, www.icfnigeria.org. You would like to stay there when you go there because there's a whole lot. The look is lovely, the information is powerful, and the direction is intentional. Any more questions?
I hope that answers that question. I am conscious of time, so I'm going to take this opportunity to just cover the few other things that we've got left. And guess what? That particular point you've asked about any more questions regarding joining and all that It will come up in the next few minutes. Now, before Mr. President takes leave of this stage just now, I want everybody to show an appreciation for Mr. President Charles Okebuna. And I hope I've pronounced your name correctly.
Thank you. You have.
Okay. There's one action that has been passed to me for us as a chapter to look into before we move to the next slide. Please, everybody stay with us. I had a question that said, who is the DEIB director for our chapter? Mr. President,
Yes.
I had to put that on record so that we can take that action away and work on it outside of this session. So the question was, who is the director of equity? So we don't have to answer that now.
Okay,
We'll
but I
look into
have
that.
an answer to that.
Okay,
actually.
please share.
The ICF Nigeria bylaws have a specific number for her leadership. So
Okay,
what has happened is that the president of the chapter is also plays the role and has also been added to the various activities that relate to the DIB. So we're very
fantastic,
intentional about it.
fantastic.
The regional office has reached out to us, and we have showed our interest in supporting and making sure that we align, even though there is no substantive director, for the DIB in our bylaws. But
Okay,
the president sits in that office.
fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. President. One more time, big rounds of applause, please.
Thank
Wow,
you.
I want to hear the applause coming. Thank you very much. Now we're going to move to the next. Actually, before I do the coming next, I still want to ask everyone to give Coach Titilayo Akisoya another big round of applause for the insights we shared today. And on that note, we're going to move to the next slide. Just a few more slides for us to go. Now, coming next. April 2026. And by the way, April starts from tomorrow, but the date is still on the wraps. Do I have Coach Sophia Casey in the house?
Yes, she is.
I am here. I'm seconds away from speaking on stage at a
Seconds
conference.
away. Okay.
I'm here. I am here.
Before you go, Coach Sophia Casey. Wow. Thank you so much for honoring the invitation to come and speak with us. We'll be joined by Sophia. Anyone who's listened to Sophia speak on any stage, one thing that stands out is when she introduces herself, she being Sophia, she says, Master, certified coach, and she says it with so much pride and vigor. Thank you, Sophia. She's the founder of ICLR Rising. She works in global organizations, or rather with global organizations, including Google and Nationwide. She's trained thousands of leaders and coaches worldwide, including Obama Foundation scholars. Sophia is an Amazon bestseller author and is known for bringing both depth and energy to how leaders grow their impact. We'll be sharing the full details soon. Please watch this space. Thank you very much for honoring our request. Watch this space. Next, I want to share something congratulatory with you. Do I have Coach Adora Ayoade in the house? Please make yourself known. I know Adora was with us earlier. Adora, are you still with us?
So, Coach Femi, thank you so much. Good evening,
please
everyone.
Put your camera on.
I am here and I am so not camera ready.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Now, I know that Adora did not want me to do this.
Exactly.
But I'm going to say this again because I learned it from Sophia Casey. I'm going to say it the way Sophia says it. She says, Master, certified coach. And that's the latest MCC in the house. I want everybody to please show some love, show your appreciation for Coach Adora. Thank you so much. We
Thank you
honor
very
you, we
much, Coach
appreciate
Femi.
you, and we stand on your platform. And not only are we celebrating your MCC achievement, but you've been appointed to Global Director of Education Board. Is that the correct terminology? I think so. So it's a double celebration. MCC AAA. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so what's next? Earlier on, our president was sharing with you how to reach out to us. Now, this is a lot to take on. So don't worry. You can reach out to any one of the directorate. We've got in our leadership, we've got president, vice president, and secretary. Our secretary is unable to join us this evening. Do we have Ahoy in the house? Ahoy Ameoge, our vice president. I think I pronounced the name correctly. We've got
I'm here.
Gloria
Yeah.
Gbemudu. Thank you. Thank you, Ahoy. We've got Gloria Gbemudu. You got Anant in the house. You got Dr. Tina Udoji. We've got Patrinia in the house. We've got Taiwo
Yes,
in the
hello.
house. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So these are the directors of ICF Nigeria Charter Chapter. Anytime I say the name, I say it with great pride. And for those who are in San Diego, ICF Converge 2026, 2025, everyone remembers when the contingent from Nigeria branded their t-shirt and were prominently displayed, even with our CEO. So I want to take so much pride in this chapter. Now, earlier on, Charles said, you can connect with us. We move ahead with times. We ensure that we utilize as much technology as possible. If you scan the QR code that is shown on the screen, you will be taken to the Contact Us section of our website. All you need to do is fill out the form and we will follow up with you. It's as simple as that. When I analyzed the data, and I'm going to tell you a little secret, I used AI to analyze the registration data earlier on. And a significant proportion of the number of people who registered are not yet a member of ICF Nigeria Charter Chapter. This is your opportunity. In fact, some of them are not even coaches. Your journey starts today. So please scan the QR code and register your interest. So this is the point that I want to say a big thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your time and your presence. And this is the point in the evening that I have to say, have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
finished just a couple of minutes ahead of schedule. And I
Well
think
done.
this is the point, unless anyone's got a burning question. And I don't think coaching questions can be answered in 2 minutes. So let's wrap it up. Please
Yes.
stay connected with us. And let me put the QR code in case you haven't scanned it. Stay connected with us. Thank you. Anyone who's traveling from where they are to someone else, safe travels. If you're at home and you have to go upstairs or downstairs, take it easy and have a very wonderful day. Thank you for your time. I'm going to invite the board of directors to please stay for a few minutes while everyone else leaves. I could also extend the invitation to Titilayo Akisoya, our host for this, our speaker for this evening. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Coach Femi. Thank you,
You're
ICF
welcome.
Nigeria.
You
So
are
excited to
welcome.
be with you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Phenomenal
Thank you,
event.
bye.
Thank you so much.
Awesome
Thank you,
event indeed.
everyone.
Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Wait to see you in April.
Yes, indeed. See you in April. Yeah, next week.
Yeah, see you in April.
Yeah, see you. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
good to see
Just checking.
Oyinade Nathan Marsh. Oyinade Nathan Marsh, could you please unmute yourself? Greetings.
Just making sure that our YouTube works. We have a few people that would need to be put in the waiting room so that we can finish our internal business.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Good
Yes,
evening.
so I've been trying to reach you.
I know, right? I'll get in touch after this.
Okay, so you still have my number?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I will
Okay,
reach out. Yes.
looking
All right.
forward.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.